Well, welcome to VPC for Good Friday. My name is Wes, and I'm honored to be here remembering Jesus with you. We, as a community, a faith community, have been walking through Holy Week together. If you were here on Sunday, you remember our children ushered us into the Holy City with Jesus on the back of a donkey. And last night, if you were here for Maundy, Thursday, we celebrated the Passover, the remembrance of that Passover meal that Jesus ate with his disciples before he headed to the Garden of Gethsemane and then was arrested. Today, we pick up that storyline and we carry it forward as Jesus is handed from the hands of the rulers, the Jewish rulers, over to Pilate and the official Roman government of the day. You know, in the 11th chapter of Paul's letter to the Hebrews, he has this incredible idea where he talks about justification by faith. He outlines some of the Jewish heroes in the Old Testament and talks about how it was their ability to take what he said was hope that was assured, and turn that into action. That's what counted them as righteous in God's eyes. I love the way he ends that chapter. Yet all these, though they were commended for their faith, did not receive what was promised, since God had provided something better, so that they would not, apart from us, be made perfect. Now he continues into chapter 12 with a line that has completely captured my imagination today. That therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, that we should continue the race that God has set out for us. I love the implication, because Christianity is a community that exists outside of time. God has been weaving storylines together for generations. We working them into a tapestry, the grains of which mimic the very fabric of reality. This Good Friday, my friends, we'll walk together through Jesus' Good Friday. And as at each stop, there'll be moments for reflection, sometimes through silence, sometimes through meditation, and sometimes through song. Our hope is that together we'll be able to consider well Jesus, his death and burial, as well as all the hopes and promises that he fulfills. So will you join me, ready our hearts and our minds with just a moment of silent reflection.
Please join us in singing this song. When I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count the
Jesus, I'm sure, his thoughts and his mind was well connected with the Father on Good Friday. Prayers never far from his lips. Will you join me for a unison prayer together? We recognize that you've been writing stories for a very long time. From before Adam took his first breath, you were. Your spirit hovered over the waters as you began to bring life out of the depths. We've traveled a Lenten journey together, remembering your death and resurrection. Even more, we seek union with you in hopes of our own resurrection, now in part, one day in fullness. Help us to consider your journey to the cross from a new perspective today. Give us clear eyes to see the story you're writing here and now. Give us hope in grief, meaning in suffering, and faith that surpasses understanding.
They bound the hands of Jesus in the garden where he prayed. They led him through the streets in shame. They spat upon the Savior, so pure and free from sin. They said, "Crucify him, he's to blame." He could have called 10,000 angels to destroy the world and set him free. He could have called 10,000 angels, but he died alone for you and me. Upon his precious head they placed a crown of thorns. They laughed and said, "Behold the King." They struck him and they cursed him and mocked his holy name. And all alone he suffered everything. To the howling mob he yielded. He did not for mercy cry. The cross of shame he took alone. And when he cried, "It's finished," he gave himself to die. Salvation's wondrous plan was done. He could have called 10,000 angels to destroy the world and set him free. He could have called 10,000 angels, but he died alone for you and me. He could have called 10,000 angels to destroy the world and set him free. He could have called 10,000 angels, but he died alone for you and me.
When morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people conferred together. against Jesus in order to bring about his death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. Now Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus said, "You say so." But when he was accused by the chief priests and elders, he did not answer. Then Pilate said to him, "Do you not hear how many accusations they make against you?" But still he gave him no answer, not even to a single charge. So that the governor was greatly amazed. Now at the festival, the governor was accustomed to release a prisoner for the crowd, anyone whom they wanted. And at that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Jesus Barabbas. So after they had gathered, Pilate said to them, "Who do you want me to release for you? Is it Jesus Barabbas or Jesus who is called the Messiah?" Now the chief priests and elders had already persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus killed. The governor again said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "What should I do with Jesus who is called the Messiah?" And all of them said, "Let him be crucified." And then he asked, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Let him be crucified."
I remember what the world was like before everything changed. It was beautiful, perfect. There was no pain, no death, no shame. Adam and I walked with God, hearing his voice as he walked beside us. Everything we needed was right there. I am Eve, but I also remember the moment everything changed. The serpent's voice, the fruit in my hand, the bite that seemed so small at the time, sin entered the world. Shame followed, fear followed, and eventually, death followed. I watched the world change because of it. I watched generations live and die. I watched the brokenness grow, and I carried the weight of knowing that it began with me. But even in that moment, as we left the garden, God made a promise. He said one day, one of my descendants would crush the serpent. For years, I wondered what that meant. Then I heard about Jesus. People spoke about him everywhere. They said he healed the sick, gave sight to the blind, and welcomed the outcasts. They said he spoke about God as someone who knew him better than anyone else, and yet they killed him. I watched as they made the same mistake as I did. I watched them choose Barabbas to be released and Jesus be condemned. The sky grew dark, and it felt like the world was breaking all over again. I watched as he carried the cross up the hill. I felt the weight that I had carried since the garden begin to lift. Every mistake, every consequence, every trace of what I had done rested on his shoulders. It was as if he had been crushed and the serpent had won. And I watched as the cost of my choice was laid upon him.
Take a moment in silent reflection. The soldiers of the governor, they took Jesus into the governor's headquarters. and they gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. And they put a reed in his right hand and knelt before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." They spat on him and took the reed and struck him in the head. And after mocking him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes back on. And then they led him away to crucify him.
I stand here, a man who once watched the world end, now watching the Savior of the world suffer. I am Noah. I remember watching each raindrop fall as the world was drowning. In the ark, it felt like I was in a portal to another dimension, as I heard the final breaths of life. I saw our Father's art of creation suddenly turn into a white canvas, a clean slate. But now I know it hurt him more, by seeing his children consumed with wickedness. And now I stand at another storm, except today there is no rain in the sky, yet I feel a flood within me. As I watch Jesus on the cross, my brain is consumed by the different meanings. Before, the world was cleansed by water. Now, it is being redeemed with blood. I hear the rivers of tears being shed, as I now see the Lord sacrificing himself. What am I thinking? Mercy. I was promised by God that he would never wipe us off the earth again. He gave a covenant, the rainbow, a bright, beautiful arc of redemption that is painted across the sky. And yet, here at the cross, I see something even greater than the rainbow. I see the fulfillment of that promise as he saves the world. What do I feel? Deeper than any floodwaters, I feel sorrow. But I also see myself in awe. Because this time, instead of sending judgment onto society, he's taking it upon himself. I watch God close the door to the ark, to now opening his arms on the cross. The flood caused destruction, as the cross is restoration. The flood cleansed the earth, but the cross cleanses our hearts. As I watch Jesus' last breath, I realize the rainbow isn't the greatest promise. It is this moment now, where the colors above us cannot compare to the sacrifice before us. This is the greatest sacrifice. This is the true ark, where any believer can walk in and be saved. And I, Noah, who once watched the earth wiped away, now witness the moment where it is finally made new.
As they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon. They compelled this man to carry his cross. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, or the place of the skull, they offered him wine to drink, mixed with gall. But when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his clothes among themselves by casting lots. And then they sat down there and kept watch over him. Over his head they put the charge against him, which read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Then 2 rebels were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. And those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads, but saying, "You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself." And in the same way, the chief priests also, along with the scribes and the elders, were mocking him, saying, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusts God. Let God deliver him now, if he wants to. For he said, 'I am God's son.'" The rebels who were crucified with him also taunted him in the same way.
I am Abraham. I have walked this path before, this hill. The air is heavy with a memory I've carried for a lifetime. I remember walking up the hill with my own son, Isaac. I remember the look he gave me when he asked, "Where's the lamb?" I remember my trembling response when I said, "God himself will provide the lamb." I thought I understood it all when I found a ram caught in the thicket. I thought the story had ended, but now I see this son, this lamb. I look at him, the Son of God, and I see Isaac, but there is a terrifying difference. God stayed his hand, my hand. He spared my son. On this mountain, I see no rescue or calling to heaven. There is no substitute ram because he is the substitute lamb. How could a father do this? I felt the agony of giving up my son, whom I love. But now I see the Father, the Creator, doing what he never truly asked of me. He's giving up himself. My mind goes back to a night long ago, the night the covenant was sealed, the carcass highway. I remember the pieces of animal laid out. In my day, when 2 parties made a sealed covenant, both would walk between saying, "May I become like this animal, should I break my word." But I didn't walk that night. Instead, while I was asleep, the Spirit of God passed between. God was saying, should our covenant be broken, even by me, he would pay. I see the Son of God now. I see the blood, the broken body. I see the covenant being held by God, just as he promised. The carcass highway didn't end in the desert. It ends here on the cross. The promise is kept. The lamb is provided. And for the first time, I truly understand the cost of the stars I was told to count.
How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that he should give his only Son to make a wretch his treasure. How great the pain of searing was, the Father turns his face away. sin upon his shoulders. Ashamed, I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffers. It was my sin that held him there until it was accomplished. His dying breath has brought me life. I know that it is finished. I will not boast in anything, no gifts, no power, no wisdom, but I will boast in Jesus Christ, his death and resurrection. Why should I gain from his reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart: his wounds have paid my ransom.
From noon on, darkness came over the whole land until about 3 in the afternoon. And at about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? And when some of the bystanders heard it, they said, this man is calling out for Elijah. And at once one of them ran and got a sponge and filled it with sour wine and put it on a stick and gave it to him to drink. But the other said, wait, let's see whether Elijah will come to save him. And then Jesus cried again with a loud voice and breathed his last. And at that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks were split, the tombs also opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And after his resurrection, they came out of the tombs and entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now, when the centurion and those with him who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and what took place, they were terrified. And they said, truly, this man was God's son.
My name is Isaiah. I was told of a servant who would suffer. I did not comprehend what I was seeing. But now, standing before the cross, I have begun to see. Darkness covered the land, and there he hung on the cross. For I wrote, he was despised and rejected, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. I see it here. He is not honored. He is suffering. Some are saying how God has abandoned him, or that he is being punished. But that is not what I saw. He was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him. This is not his burden alone. It is ours. He did not resist. He did not turn away. Like a lamb led to the slaughter, he is silent. And now he breathes his last breath. The earth then shakes, and the veil gets torn. Where creation responded, and someone says, "Surely this was the Son of God." Yes, this is the servant I have seen, the one who suffers, not for his sin, but for our sin. By his wounds, we are healed. This is not the end of the story. This cross, this is where mercy meets us.
Was wounded for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and with his wounds, and with his wounds, and with his wounds we are healed. He was despised, he was rejected, one from whom men hide their faces. Man of sorrows, with grief acquainted, we esteemed him not. All we like sheep have gone astray, each of us turned to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him all of our sin. Surely he took up all of our suffering, surely he carried our sorrows, yet we considered him afflicted, smitten, stricken by God. Was wounded for our transgressions, he was was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and with his wounds, and with his wounds, and with his wounds we are healed.
When it was evening, there was a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who was also himself a disciple of Jesus. And he went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. And Pilate then ordered it be given to him. So Joseph took the body and wrapped it in clean linen and laid it in his new tomb, which he had hewn in the rock. He then rolled a great stone across the door of the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were there, sitting opposite the tomb.
I am Jonah. Feels like I've walked this road before, but I fled. I left, boarded a boat to run from the one who had created the seas. A storm followed, and I knew why. I knew what needed to be done. Thrown out to sea, my cries lost to the endless deep. 3 days in darkness, 3 days in fear, 3 days praying. Lord, show me the way you have prepared. When my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord. Amen. So I stand at the hollow jaws of the grave, watching it consume, waiting to believe this ends the way my story did. But this feels deeper than the sea. You can feel the hope wearing thin, the despair taking hold. The sky is dark, the ground is still, and the people are solemn. He took it all up instead of running, so what's to come now?
When